ledger, turn 4 is a monster, jaws wide like a gator. Pit stop, quick cruise, move sharp as a razor. Adrenaline pumps, veins fuel injected. Outlaws on the track, chaos perfected. Full throttle kings, we don't slow down. Ripping through the night, owning this town. Gas to the floor, the crowd gets loud. Outlaws racing, we're born unbound. Smoke trails curl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint jobs flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump traps, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump traps, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Smoke trails curl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint jobs flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump trap, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump trap, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Engines scream, asphalt burns, the grip's a gamble. Tires squeal, hearts race, this leads to scandal. Full throttle, no brakes, chasing that checkered. Drafted lines tighter than a bank teller's ledger. Turn 4 is a monster, jaws wide like a gator. Pit stop, quick cruise, move sharp as a razor. Adrenaline pumps, veins fuel injected. Outlaws on the track, chaos perfected. Full throttle kings, we don't slow down. Ripping through the night, owning this town. Gas to the floor, the crowd gets loud. Outlaws racing, we're born unbound. Smoke trails curl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint jobs flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump trap, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump trap, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Slow trails curl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint jobs flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump trap, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump trap, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll from the beautiful Worldwide Technology Raceway, other known as Gateway, here this afternoon is each and every one of these drivers hoping to try to put themselves up and into victory lane here this evening as the Full Throttle Outlaws Racing League is back in action here this evening as qualifying underway. Drivers getting their lap times in, hoping that they get themselves set up nicely here for a solid starting position and a good day here at the Speedway. As you do see Eric Hegdel, he jumps up into that 6th position. Doesn't look like he's going to continue here for lap number 2, but down the bank straight away, the QH Designs number 54, David Trailer. Lap number 1 here of his qualifying run, he got to 7th. We'll see if he can find a little extra speed here in lap number 2 as the QH Designs Toyota down and across the start finish line. We'll take a look here. Gets a little slower there on lap number 2. So for now, he will stay in 7th. Brennan McNutt out there on the racetrack in that beautiful Tufts Chrome number 88 ride. Looking strong here this afternoon and looking good out there in the 48 machine as you look to hopefully jump up a couple extra spots out there on the racetrack. What's good, Frank Ranger? What's good, brother? Ranger in the chat showing the love says, what's up, Peace? Been a minute, brother. It has been a minute, my man. It has been a minute. Glad to see you, though. Glad to see you tuning in and showing the love here this evening. How the heck have you been, my boy? How the heck have you been? How you been, Frank? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Friday night. And you know what's up, my man. Just some good, solid racing action here on Peacemaker Gaming as we do see Clinton Woodby. He's out there on the racetrack. Looks like he's going to qualify back in about the 19th position. Now we do have a couple drivers that are yet to put down qualifying times. Andrew Hainsley, Brody Bente, and Brian Cunningham yet to qualify here this evening. So we'll see if they can get out there in time, but I believe that they're going to run out of time as here we go. It's time to shine. It is the start of our A-Main feature event. The A-Main about to get underway here for the Full Throttle Outlaws Racing League as each and every one of these drivers hoping to try to put themselves up and into a winner's circle as Big Corn says, number 01, go Green or Power Ranger. Cheering on the Green Power Ranger ride out there on the Speedway. I know we saw a pink Power Ranger ride out there on the racetrack. Now there's also a green one. They're building power. They're getting stronger as there's a look at the pink one, and you do see a little farther back there is that 01 ride, Rooster Run, and in that beautiful green Power Ranger ride out there on the speedways. Frank says just chilling, watching the broadcast and trying to get more leagues to make trophies for. Let's go. Hey, listen, man, there's a lot out there. Sometimes they're they're tough to find. I mean, heck, it may be even worth it if you just go into iRacing and go to some of the random leagues that are in there. I mean, there may be a few that you could find on Facebook or something, shoot them a message, see if they're interested. That's probably not a bad idea, as John McManus in the chat says, go Trevor McManus, cheering on the 59 ride. Trevor will start in position number 3 here this evening. And starting on the pole in the 56 ride, it is the HendrickCars.com number 56 of Jack Drucker. Drucker will start in the pole position here this evening to his outside in the Sinclair Dyno Care number 6 machine. It is Rusty Modesty who will start there in position number 2. Starting in position number 3 in the 59 machine, that is Trevor McManus to his outside in the Razor number 5. It's Matt Hayden. Starting in that 5th position in the QH Designs Ghost Energy number 97, that is Colton Hardy. To his outside, the Red Bull number 11, that is Eric Hegdel, who will start there in 6th with the 54 at David Trailer starting in 7th. The 21 of Zach Kelly will start in 8th, and then we do see Keith Prince in the 36 of Mr. Stephen Luttrell. Luttrell will round out our top 10 here on the starting grid this afternoon. And then we do see the 77 ride of Evan Schilling. Schilling will start there in the 11th position. To his outside will be the number 87 of Joe Yates. Yates will start there in that 12th spot on the speedway. Starting in 13th is that Green Power Ranger, the 01 Rooster Rodden. To his outside will be the Fallout, number 8 machine of Ronald Kingston. Starting back in the 15th position, it is the 33 machine of Mr. Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. To his outside in the QH Designs, number 46 is the Dr. Pepper machine of Skylar Berry, there in 16th. Back in the 17th position, the Topps Chrome, number 48 is Brennan McNutt. To his outside will be the 30 ride of Justin Duran. Starting back in 19th, in the 92, that is Clinton Woodby. To his outside in the Firehouse Subs. Number 7, it's Harrison Crosby, rounding out our top 20 as we end all of the anticipation with our feature presentation, as we are quickly green flag racing here at Gateway. Jack Drucker out in front. We'll see that green flag fly, and he gets a great run down through 1 and 2. Will lead us down the back straightaway. And for the HendrickCars.com, number 56 will take us for the first time here this evening into corner number 3. Nice and easy out of corner number 4. A couple car lengths between himself and Modesty, as the 56 of Jack Drucker will lead lap number 1 here at Gateway. Modesty's back there in second. Matt Hayden sits in third as Trevor McManus falls back into position number 4. As this is a very, very technical racetrack. It's a very good racetrack. As we take a look at some of the other drivers back there starting deeper in the field. Jesse Wise in the shitty coolers. Number 69 right back there. You do see Brody Bente in his Raisin Canes, number 63. The 4, that is the Pabst Blue Ribbon machine of Jesse Calloway. Back there as well as the Cartoon Network, number 76 of Shane Morris, the 32 machine of Brian Cunningham, in the number 29 of Andrew Hainsley. Hainsley, oh brother, we love it. We love this paint scheme right here. Woo! This is my fan favorite right here, ladies and gentlemen. That's my Philadelphia Flyers on board with the number 29 of Andrew Hainsley. Oh, man, I'm all bricked up. I'm all flyered up. And for my Flyers, going to look for the series sweep on Pittsburgh tomorrow night in South Philly, baby. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be a great day of hockey. And for our Philadelphia Flyers, man, looking to, obviously sweep it. But, I mean, even if we don't sweep it, it's A-okay. We go to Game 5, Game 6, I'm fine with it. More points for the boys, a little bit more experience for some of the younger players getting into round number 2. Now, I'd like to sweep, obviously, that first round versus Pittsburgh because, Schittsburg, we don't like them, okay? The Battle of Pennsylvania, it is still very much alive to this day. Even if it's playoffs, not playoffs, man, we're still hoping that Pittsburgh fails hard each and every time they're out there on the ice. But for right now, for all these drivers, they're looking to just have a good, solid day here at the Speedway, hoping that there's no body checking out there. Hopefully there's no punches thrown, and hoping for just a good, clean 160 laps of racing action here this evening from Worldwide Technology Raceways, as Jack Drucker out in front continues to hold on to the top spot as he rounds corner number 4 and back down the front straightaway across the line here. He'll complete the first 5 laps of this feature event. Modesty sticks right there in second. He's actually reeled him in a little bit here. Has gotten back to the rear bumper of that HendrickCars.com. Number 56, Ryan Hayden's right there in third with Trevor McManus. And our top 5 now being rounded out by David Trailer. His Trailer has worked that QH Designs at number 54 up into the top 5 here on the Speedway. Colton Hardy's fallen back into 6 as Eric Hegdel's there in 7th. Stephen Luttrell's back in 8th with Zach Kelly and Brennan McNutt early on here. We've seen this out of that 48 ride, really not getting the best qualifying effort here on the racetrack, but during the action here during green flag racing. The 48 machine comes to life and really starts to work his way through that traffic, and now up inside the top 10 early on here at Gateway. Only 6 laps in, and he's already up 7 positions out there on the racetrack. As Rooster Rodden right there behind him will make the move around Joe Yakes. Yakes will fall back into 12th, move Rodden up and into 11th with Skylar Berry there in 13th. Keith Prince down 5 positions early on in this race for that Sherwin-Williams Chevrolet. That's beautiful Silverado rolling there in that 14th spot has Justin Duran in the 8 ride. Ronald Kingston right there behind him as these guys continue to battle, continue to duke it out, and some great racing all around the speedway. These guys just putting together an absolutely amazing show for us, an amazing race out there on the speedway. And for each and every single one of them, they're going to continue to try to work their way up towards the front, including this 30 ride of Justin Duran. Duran was able to pick up the win in the QH Design 300 last Friday night. Can he make it 2 in a row? Can he work this beautiful 30 machine back up to the front of the field and pick up another solid finish, maybe even another victory here, and make it 2 in a row here in the Full Throttle Outlaws Racing League, as the 30 ride will take a peek down to the inside here of Keith Prince. Looks like he will make that pass and move Justin Duran now up 4 positions here as he knocks Keith Prince back another spot. Prince just trying to hold on to it, trying to stop the bleeding here as he's now down 6 positions to start this feature event. Ronald Kingston, Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. also on the back slide, and so is in the 77 of Evan Schilling. Schilling's lost 7 positions since the start of this race, now going to be potentially 8 as he's got that 63 of Brody Bente. Bente trying to make the move around him, trying to move that Raising Cane's ride up and into position number 18 here on the speedway. The Pass Blue Ribbon machine of Jesse Calloway's right there, so isn't Jesse Wise. Clinton Woodby, it's quite a bit of a surprise to see Woodby this deep in the field here, as Woodby came into this race feeling pretty strong, feeling pretty good here. He's had some really good runs, some really strong performances out there on the racetrack, and I believe for Woodby came into this race 4th in points. So he's 4th in points here early on in the season, but running back in 22nd. You got to wonder if this is already a bit of a fuel strategy, maybe tire strategy. I'm not sure what the game plan is here for the 92, but we'll see if it works out for him at the end of the night. Is coming into this race, man, Jack Drucker, our current race leader, who continues to sit out in front here. He's got the points lead. He's got a win back at Daytona in our initial start of the season, as he was able to get the dub there. And after a good run, good showing last week, Drucker sits 1st in points with Brendan McNutt, his teammate, back in 2nd. Skylar Berry, Clinton Woodby, and last week's winner, Justin Duran, round out our top 5 here in the point standings. David Traylor, Brody Bente, Brandon Combs, Evan Schilling, and Matt Hayden round out the top 10. Now for Brandon Combs, Combs is not here tonight. I've not seen the 228 machine out there on the speedway, and for one of our top 10 drivers here in the points, missing a night could definitely make things that much more difficult, that much more challenging for him here on the season. As you do see Drucker, though, out in front, continue to lead the charge. Matt Hayden sits there in 2nd. David Traylor's now up into 3rd as Colton Hardy there in 4th. McManus falls back into that 5th position as Hegdal, Luttrell, and now Modesty in that beautiful St. Clair Dyno Care number 6 machine goes from 2nd all the way back to the 8th position, and he's lost 6 spots here rather quickly, and he's going to quickly see this 21 ride, that pink Power Ranger ride, as Zach Kelly worked to his back bumper, and there's another Power Ranger trying to get powered up right there behind him, the 01 of Rooster Rodden. It may be morphin time here if they get paired together. These drivers may have to be cautious out there. You don't want to get too many of these Power Ranger rides together, else they can morph and take over this field and try to win this race. So they'll have to be trying to separate these guys a little bit out there on the racetrack. You don't want them to get bumper to bumper out there on the speedway, but bumper to bumper out in front. Jack Drucker and Matt Hayden continue to battle here nicely. at the front of the field now. Hayden's hung right here with him, has not allowed this 56 to run away. Obviously, we've seen Rusty Modesty fall back here. David Traylor's moved on up. So you got to wonder, are the tires starting to take effect? Is fuel starting to take effect? As we take a look here at the lap times, last time by the start-finish line, drivers are running about a second slower than what they were to start this race. So already about a second of tire fall off, and we're only 15 laps here into the first run of the day. Now, we do have a stage break here as well at lap number 60. So, quite a ways into it here, in 60 laps of green flag racing action could definitely produce, some green flag pit stops here. There could be the potential of green flag pit stops at some point in time out there on the speedway for these drivers. Now, they have 100% fuel. They only get 3 sets of tires, and for each and every one of these drivers, you got to know when to use them. You got to make sure you take care of them, because having only 3 sets, it means if you do use and abuse them too early on and you don't have them for later in the race, you could be a sitting duck out there on the racetrack. So you want to try to save as much as you can, try to save that extra set for the very last pit stop or the very last opportunity that you may have to use them to your advantage. Now, you do see that 54 at David Traylor. He's hunted these guys down. He now rolls in position number 2 as he makes the move around Matt Hayden. Hayden will fall back into that 3rd position, move David Traylor in the QH Designs number 54 up and into position number 2 out there on the speedway. But Drucker in the HendrickCars.com number 56 continues to lead the way here at Gateway. The 56 looking really, really good here this evening, and if these drivers continue on green flag racing, we continue to see them clicking off these laps. Lap traffic could play a hand in this. Lap traffic could definitely come into view here as that beautiful Philadelphia Flyers number 29 ride of Andrew Hainsley obviously struggled a little bit. You just saw him get loose down through corner number 3, and luckily enough was able to catch it, able to keep it rolling, but he already finds himself about 21, almost 22 seconds behind our race leaders. That's virtually half a racetrack, or just a little less than half a racetrack away from having our race leaders on his back bumper and potentially putting him a lap down out there on the speedway. As Laura Stacy, what's good, Laura? Laura in the chat says, get it done, number 5, get it done. Cheering on Matt Hayden, as Hayden had just fallen back into that 3rd position, was up in 2nd, trying to put the pressure on Jack Drucker, but now all of a sudden starting to slide back a bit out there on the racetrack as David Traylor's gotten around him. Now here comes that 59 ride of Trevor McManus. McManus is reeling up to him here in a quick hurry and gonna be putting the pressure onto that number 5 ride here in just a couple more minutes as the sun is quickly setting here at Gateway. And for each and every one of these drivers, knowing that the sun is setting here, knowing that the lights are about to turn on, could definitely change the entire handling of your race truck. Drivers that may be struggling now, that may not be as good right now, may come to life here once the sun sets and the lights come on. The racetrack gets cooler, the setups get a whole lot tighter, and it could potentially work really, really nicely into their favor here later in this race. So having that long run speed, knowing that you're saving some tire, knowing that you're putting yourself into a position for the long haul here this evening could push you into the best position after 160 laps of racing action here from Gateway. As Trucker, though, continues to hold on to the top spot. David Traylor, though, is slowly but surely reeling into his back bumper out there on the speedway. And for Drucker, seeing that 54 ride reel up to you here, definitely gonna have him a little bit more staring into that rear view mirror than out of that front windshield, trying to make sure that he can continue to put dirty air onto the nose of the 54, see what line he's kind of running, where he's backing up and gaining here throughout the corners, and seeing what he needs to do differently or what he may be able to find watching that 54 to try to help him find that extra bit of speed just to keep him back there at bay. It's Drucker, Trailer 1 and 2. McManus back up into that 3rd position as Matt Hayden and Colton Hardy round out our top 5 here on the speedway. As Modesty, who started in 2nd, he's the only driver that started inside the top 5 that is not currently in the top 5 out there on the racetrack. And if you're David Trailer, you're the only driver inside the top 5 that did not start there. But now you're up there, and you're putting the pressure on the race leader, looking to have a good, strong run. A great day here at the Speedways. He's sticking right there with Drucker, not letting him run away with it. And we'll see if you can try to find something here as we're about to complete lap number 24. So 24 laps will be completed this time by the start-finish line. And now for a lot of these drivers, the lap times have really started to fall off here. We're inching towards, you know, that 1.2, 1.3 seconds now that they've lost here just in time. For some drivers, it's even worse. Some drivers that were a little bit tougher on their tires, that were running a little bit harder early on in this race, are definitely starting to feel that, you know, these tires are burning up rather quickly, and that they just got to hang on, and they got to hope that they get an opportunity to hit pit road, make some changes, maybe get some fresh tires here, but it's going to be way too early. I think you got to plan for a long haul. Only 3 sets of tires back there behind pit wall. If you use them up too early, it really puts you back here. It really hurts your chances late in this race. So try to save a set here throughout maybe the first wave of, you know, green flag pit stops. Try to make it to the end of the stage on the completion of lap number 60. I think that's a pretty good number. Lap 60, come down pit side, put a fresh set of tires on, try to make it another 50, 60 laps, get another fresh set, and then try to hopefully have an extra set back there behind pit wall for late in this race, whether or not it's coming back down pit side for fuel or trying to get a you know, just a late race caution flag that could be make or break on your day. It's out in front. Drucker, our pole sitter, man, has just been lights out so far, man. He's led all 26 laps of racing action so far here this evening, as my boy Big Pilo, in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get a hashtag Pilo in the chat right now, as my boy Chris coming in, dropping the big love with the $5 super chat here this evening, coming in with a big love. We appreciate that. Mr. Pilo coming in, showing the love here in this one, dropping the $5 super chat, brother. You did not need to do that, but coming in with the big love here. We're in flexing that supporter emote as well, coming in with the let's go baby, let's get it, my boy. That is absolutely insane. We appreciate that, man, coming in, showing the love here in this one with the $5 super chat here this evening, as Drucker, David Trailer still 1 and 2. McManus back there in third. Matt Hayden's there in fourth, with Colton Hardy rounding out our top 5. Now Hardy starting to see the 6 ride of Rusty Modesty reeling back in. Modesty starting to catch up to the back bumper here of the 97 machine. And we have seen over the last few laps that Hardy has been running quite a bit slower than a lot of the drivers around him. They have been falling back and maybe burning up his tires a little bit too much here early on in this race. And for Modesty, you know, he kind of ran hard for the first 5 laps or so and then fell back middle of this top 10 and has been kind of slowly but surely navigating his way back up towards the front of the field. So for the 6 of Modesty, has it been more of just a procedure of trying to save some tire, save a little bit of fuel maybe, and trying to stretch and gain that extra little bit of an edge later in this run? Is nice and easy down into corner number 3. You see Modesty right there on the 97 ride, but out in front and out at corner number 4, you do see our race leader, Jack Drucker, will exit 4, back down across the line. He will finish off lap number 30 here this evening. So 30 laps down here in this feature event. 30 laps already completed here this evening. And for Jack Drucker, he's been out in front for all 30 as we hit the midway point here in our first stage of the day. And now you do see David Trailer right back there to his rear bumper. Here comes that 59 right of Trevor McManus. McManus, he's right there. He wants to get into the fight. He wants to get into this battle for the race lead as he reels in. He's on the back bumper of David Trailer. We'll wait and see if he makes a move, if he takes an opportunity or shot here to try to get around these two and try to jump out to the race lead here today. Is Jack Drucker. David Trailer 1 and 2. Oh, there's contact. Look out. Trucker got a piece of the outside fence. They both get checked up, and now here comes Trevor McManus. McManus will quickly jump down to the inside. He will clear that 54 of David Trailer and jump up into position number 2, and now go to work on the back bumper of this HendrickCars.com number 56 ride. As Matt Hayden back there in 4th, he's starting to reel these guys in as well as they get the beating and banging battle in here for the race lead. He says, thank you very much. I'll take that extra little bit of time back. I'll reel into all 3 of you and try to join this fight at the front of the field as well. As Hardy and Modesty still there in 5th and 6th. Eric Hegdel back in 7th. Rooster Rollins worked that Green Power Ranger ride up and in to position number 8. His teammate Zach Kelly's right there in 9th with the beautiful 36 of Stephen Luttrell working to his inside. Luttrell trying to keep that 36 right there in that 9th position. He will stay in front of Zach Kelly. Kelly will fall back into that 10th position as Justin Duran just outside of our top 10 looking in. Rolling there in 11th with Skylar Berry, Joe Yakes, Clinton Woodby, who started deep in this field and at one point had fallen back into about 23rd, 24th position. Now up into 14th here, so it seems like for Clinton Woodby, either the other drivers back behind him have been falling off the pace, or he has just been starting to use up maybe a little bit more of the fresh tire that he was saving and starting to reel these guys in, starting to make some moves up and down throughout the field. Brendan McNutt in the Topps Chrome number 48. Ryan, man, it's been a while since we opened up some Topps Chrome. Let me tell you, man, we love watching those card opening videos, man, on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever it may be, man. The card opening videos, man, they always are so exciting, especially seeing some of the amazing pulls that some of these guys get. I never get lucky enough, man. I always only just buy, the hobby boxes. I never really get any, really fancy or fairly expensive boxes, so we tend to never get anything. I don't even know if I own a numbered card. I own some rookie cards. That's about as best as it gets for me, but I don't think I've ever opened a numbered card. I don't think I've ever had an autograph card, man, and man, it's definitely been in the back of my mind one of these days buy one of those guaranteed packs and see if we can pull, a decent number, a decent signature, something cool out of one of those hobby boxes, man, whether it's for hockey or baseball, football, whatever it may be, man. I'm on board for it, as you do see McNutt unfortunately falling back here as the 48 Ryan is going to fall back a couple spots there on the racetrack as the 4 of Jesse Calloway and that number 33 of Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. both get around him out there on the speedway. Brody Bente in that 63 Ryan started back deeper in the field, but rolling here in 18th, trying to hang on to it is Ronald Kingston, Keith Prince. They're running our top 20. Jesse Wines is back in 21st with Evan Schilling, Brian Cunningham, Harrison Crosby's there in 24th, Andrew Hainsley's now in 25th, and unfortunately down pit side, making an untimed pit stop with some pretty solid damage here is the 76 machine, that Cartoon Network ride of Shane Morris. Looks like Morris had went off the racetrack, went for a little bit of an excursion out there on the speedway, back on lap number 36. Let's take a look and see what happens here. Already some really heavy left front damage. Let's play it back. Let's take a look here as it's going to be that exit of corner number 2. This is going to be a problem area for drivers all night long. As down and out of 2, getting back on the throttle maybe a little bit too soon, lose that rear end. Rear end just kind of steps out on him, washes down the racetrack. Hard contact into the infield safer barrier. They're exiting corner number 2, and for the Cartoon Network ride, he's really wishing it was more of a cartoon kind of race where that thing would just be all of a sudden fix right back up. It would pop right back into a good standing and get back into the battle, but unfortunately he's going to be taking a down pit road here and getting some extensive repairs done to try to get back out onto the speedway. And with that being said, here he comes back out onto the racetrack. The car has been repaired. Unfortunately, I do believe he did fall at least 2 laps down, maybe even almost 3 laps down out there on the racetrack, because our race leaders are not too far away from him, as we do get a new race leader for the first time here this evening. It's Trevor McManus. McManus jumps out in front, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Give it up here for McManus as he now takes that race lead. He sits at the point here. He's got control of this feature event, and obviously now after 40 laps, this time by the start finish line, looking really, really strong here, you know, towards the end of our first stage of the day. And we could see a lot more drivers really starting to flex some muscle here, whether it's through tire savings or other drivers starting to struggle. You could definitely start to see some other drivers coming on strong here as this run continues on. We've already done 40 laps of non-stop green flag racing, and we're 20 laps away from seeing this first stage come to a close. So for drivers, you're really just going to hang on to it, and the big question will be, can they make it here to lap number 60 and beyond before having to make their first green flag pit stop of the day? Will they be able to make it that far, or will we see green flag pit stops start to come up here just prior to this stage break, as that could definitely be something that these drivers will have to plan for and have to worry about, as you do see our race leader is already putting, obviously, Shane Morris, who was down pit side a couple laps down. The Philadelphia Flyers number 29 or 29 ride of Andrew Hainsley. Hainsley has lost a lap here. He is now a lap down out there on the racetrack, and now you see the Firehouse subs. Number 7, Harrison Crosby. Where's all the Crosby fans in the stands here? Now, as a Philadelphia Flyer fan myself, I hate Crosby, as in Sidney Crosby. We don't like Sidney Crosby, but different spelling. We love Harrison Crosby, and we love to see the Harrison Crosby fans in the stands cheering on that Firehouse Subs number 7 ride each and every single week. So if you guys are tuning in and you haven't already, make sure you guys jump into the comment section. Let us know who you're cheering for, who you want to see up in victory lane here this evening. And now for Harrison Crosby, his goal is to hopefully just try to stay right here in this position, hoping that he could stay as the first and not the only driver a lap down early on in this race. But if he can stay in that lucky dog spot, it could set him up nicely here for late in this race. But unfortunately, this stage break, it's still quite a ways away here, and our race leader is quickly reeling into the back bumper of this 32 ride of Brian Cunningham. Cunningham may potentially go a lap down here at a quick hurry, and for Harrison Crosby, you know, an untimely caution flag after the 32 goes a lap down could give him the wave around and could trap Harrison a lap down out there on the speedway. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. Maybe Brian continues to fall farther and farther back. Maybe it opens up the door for Harrison to get back around him. There's a much bigger gap between our 22nd place driver and our race leader, as the 22nd place driver right now is Evan Schilling. Schilling in that beautiful Mobile 1 number 77 ride rolls back in 22nd. Now is the last driver on the lead lap here this evening, as you do see the 59 ride is still quite a ways back away from him here. He's got some pretty good time, roughly about, I'm going to say, 13 seconds, 12 seconds between himself and our race leaders. And at that pace, I don't think they're going to catch up to Evan Schilling, so it could really be a battle between Brian Cunningham, Harrison Crosby, and Andrew Hainsley for the first lucky dog of the day. And that's with someone else and not running into issues. You know, green flag pit stops on the horizon. You just never quite know how these will play out. But for right now, the 32 machine sits in that lucky dog spot. Crosby not too far back away from him here, hoping to reel in that 32 ride and try to get himself back on a lead lap here at our stage break. But out in front, it's Trevor McManus, who continues to lead the charge here at Gateway, as David Traylor rolls there in second. Jack Drucker back in position number 3 with Matt Hayden there in 4th. Rusty Modesty going to round out our top 5 as he's worked his way back around Colton Hardy and kind of left Hardy in the dust here. And now we do see a couple drivers potentially coming down pit side. Oh, look at this. It's the Power Ranger rides. They're looking to morph up here down pit side. It's the Power Ranger green and pink hit pit road here. Rooster Rod and Zach Kelly going to be the first 2 of our race leaders to hit pit road here. this could either be a really bold strategy that could work out perfectly into their favor, or could really set them back out there on the speedway. But for the 59 of Trevor McManus, he's out in front. He's feeling A-OK, has almost a second between himself and David Trailer. I don't think these guys hit pit road until either the caution flag flies or they are absolutely running out of fuel and they can't make it any farther out there on the racetrack. And maybe the tires start to become an issue as well, as David Trailer really loose there at a corner number 2. Great catch, great save there for that QH Designs number 54 ride. He will see Jack Drucker reel him in a little bit more, and that will allow Trevor McManus to pull a little farther away from that 54 ride, as it's now about 1.6 seconds between first and second, as McManus will complete lap number 49 here this evening. We're 11 laps away from our first stage end of the evening. Oh man, this is gonna be fun. This is really, really going to be interesting to see kind of, if more drivers are going to have to pit here. If more and more green flag pit stops start to fly here, that could obviously really, work into a benefit here for Rooster Rodden and Zach Kelly, as they're going to have really good fresh tires. And, oh, look out! Caution flag is out, and is a pair of our race leaders, Jack Drucker, and I do believe it was David Trailer in the 54, get tangled together. They both go off the racetrack here. Let's take a look at it. So Drucker on the back bumper here of the 54, and you can see maybe just tight off of corner number 2 here. Trailer's probably trying to take it a little bit easy after that mistake at a 2 last time, and here comes Drucker. He's right there on his back bumper, shoots down to the inside, and unfortunately, this looks like he sends it in there too deep, gets tight, pushes up the racetrack, and unfortunately will slide right up and in to David Trailer. David really just nothing he could do here. Gives him room, allows him that inside lane. He knew he was there. He knew he was taking advantage of it, but the 56 driving the wall right in there a little too far, washes up the racetrack into the door of that 54 ride, and now they both go for a power slide down through corner number 3 and 4. They both kind of get sideways. They both start to go around. There's the 54, stop there on the racing surface. That's where the caution flag does get displayed. Now, luckily enough, not too much damage for either of those competitors, but it does bring in some different strategy here. Now, obviously, the stage doesn't end until the completion of lap number 60, and for a lot of these drivers, those extra stage points, the extra bonus point for winning the stage, could play a huge benefit for your day here at the Speedway, as you do see a lot of these drivers down pit road, getting fuel, getting tires, rolling back out onto the Speedway, as you do see David Trailer and our race leader, Trevor McManus, also came down pit side here. Everyone else, though, didn't really come down pit road. We saw McManus, Woodby, David Trailer, Justin Durant, Brian Cunningham, they came down pit road here, as Cunningham did get the waiver on the lucky dog back on the lead lap. Harrison Crosby now sits as the first driver, 1 lap down out there on the Speedway. Zach Kelly also trapped the lap down, so isn't Rooster Rodden after they make the earlier pit stops here. Unfortunately for their strategy, kind of went out the window right there as the yellow flag was displayed. Andrew Hainsley is back in position number 25. Shane Morris is there in 26, as we did see a lot of these drivers elected to stay out, and I do believe the 56. Oh man, heartbreaker here for Jack Drucker. Looks like Drucker is going to be assessed in EOL here for unfortunately causing that caution flag. Looks like he is going to handle that penalty out there on the racetrack. The officials are going to give him an EOL that will send that 56 back into the back of the field, and unfortunately any of those, any of the track position that he wanted to try to hang on to, any of the, stage points he was looking for, kind of out the window now out there on the racetrack, is Matt Hayden will stay out. He continues the race lead. Modesty will be in second with Stephen Luttrell. They're in third. Colton Hardy, Joe Yakes are top 5 out there on the Speedway, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Jesse Calloway, Eric Hagdal, Brody Bente, Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr., rounding out our top 10 with Keith Prince, Ronald Kingston there, as well as you see the 21 ride. I'm not sure what the 21 of Zach Kelly is doing here. Zach Kelly is supposed to be at the rear of the field here, being scored a lap down. He is not supposed to be up here. This may give him a black flag, taking this green flag, so he's going to have to be very, very cautious as he was not lined up where he's supposed to be, but here we go. Back to green flag racing. The green flag does get displayed. Looks like he tries to get lined up here nicely with everybody else. Looks like he is going to be able to get in, not really into line, but into position there prior to seeing that field kind of go by him right there and before potentially getting a black flag. So great break there for him. But for the 5 ride of Matt Hayden, he's out in front, gets a great restart, great launch. And for the Razor, number 5 ride, looking for the first stage win here this evening, sits out in front, looking to hold off Rusty Modesty, his teammate, there in second, and Colton Hardy, who's back in third. Hardy has worked his way around that 36 as Stephen Luttrell. Luttrell will fall into fourth as Barry right there trying to hang on to position number 5 out there on the speedway. Is everyone battling hard here? We'll have to take a look back at drivers that were a little deeper in the field. When you look at our race leader prior to that caution flag, the 59 of Trevor McManus rolls there in that 16th position. I think for McManus, for would-be a lot of these other drivers that had pitted during that caution flag, they took tires. They got to just play this smart. They can't make a mistake. They just want to make sure they save a little bit of tire here for the next restart, as they should or cycle their way to the front of the field. They should be out in front of the pack here as our next caution flag will fly in 5 laps time. For Matt Hayden, though, he'll take the stage win if he can hold off the rest of the field, as Rusty Modesty hangs right there with him in position number 2. Colton Hardy is there in third, with Barry now working his way up into position number 4, as Steven unfortunately falls back into 6, as here comes Joe Yakes working down to his inside. The Yakes 87 Expedition number 87 machine trying to jump into 5th there. Unfortunately, could not complete that pass. Stephen Luttrell will stay in position number 5 out there on the speedway. The 87 will fall back into 6 as here comes the Pabst Blue Ribbon MOZA number 4 machine of Jesse Calloway. Calloway rolls there in 7th with the Red Bull number 11 of Eric Hegdal. There in 8th, Keith Prince and Brody Bente, who started back in 24th, now rolls there in that 10th position. All looking for some stage points here this evening, but out in front, they're all chasing down this 5 ride of Matt Hayden. Now, we did see Jack Drucker make some big moves here. Now, Drucker did not pit during that caution flag sequence, but he does see a lot of fresh tires around him. He sees other drivers that were a little bit slower out there, maybe a little worse off on tires, still trying to battle his way back from getting that EOL, having to go to the rear of the field for causing that first caution flag of the day. The 56 has navigated his way back up into 11th and just outside the top 10, just outside of potentially earning some stage points here this evening, and he's going to have 2 more laps to go to work here on Brody Bente for that 10th spot on the speedway, and seeing if he can try to put himself back inside the top 10 out there on the racetrack. But out in front is still all Matt Hayden and Rusty Modesties. They roll 1 and 2 out there on the speedway. Pretty decent gap between themselves in the QH design rides of Colton Hardy and Skylar Berry out there on the speedway. As his teammates out in front here in this one, the 5 and 6 working well together as they'll get 1 lap left to go here in stage number 1 on the speedway. So our first stage of the day potentially quickly coming to a close here, and for Matt Hayden and Rusty Modesty sitting 1 and 2 nice and easy down the back straightaway. No caution flag will come out as they hit corner number 3 nice and easy, down and out of 3 and 4. They'll come back to the green and white checkered flag. Here is our first stage of the day is going to be completed. 60 laps down, 100 laps left to go here as Matt Hayden picks up our first stage win of the evening. Our first stage win of the day goes to that 5 ride of Matt Hayden. And if you're a Hayden fan in the stands and you're part of our Peacemaker members club, let's get some let's goes up in the chat right now. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Matt Hayden. picking up the first stage win. Modesty right there with them in position number 2. Colton Hardy and Skylar Berry there in 3rd and 4th. Stephen Luttrell will round out our top 5 with Joey Yakes, Jesse Calloway, Eric Hegdal, Keith Prince, and Jack Drucker rounding out our 10-car field here this evening, man. Some great runs, some great performances, and these guys putting together an absolutely amazing race here so far this afternoon. And for Drucker being able to jump up there, snag that 10th and final stage point out there on the racetrack. That was a big rebound there for a driver that was up inside the top 5, had that mistake between himself and David Trailer to bring out the first yellow flag and to kind of set him back there throughout this stage. But everyone else able to make it here to the end of the stage break. We did see a few of those drivers that were down pit road back on lap number 51. When you look at Clinton Woodby and Trevor McManus, Justin Duran, David Trailer, they didn't really push the subject too hard. They really didn't make too many big moves, as I do believe we will see Rooster Rodden get the lucky dog, get the free pass, the wave around back on the lead lap here this evening. Now for Woodby and the rest of those drivers that pitted back on lap number 51, they will stay out here. They will jump to the front of the field and have control here of this restart. So for Woodby, he will be our new race leader as Hayden and pretty much the rest of the field, excluding Woodby, McManus, and David Trailer, all hit pit lane here, all looking to get the right changes at the right time, trying to make sure that their cars are absolutely hooked up as the sun is virtually down. The lights are on now. And if your truck is handling illy, this may be one of your only times to make some changes to try to get set up, to try to put yourself into a good position here for late in this race. As the race off of pit road looks like it is going to be a tight one here between Modesty and Hayden. I'd say give the edge there to Rusty Modesty to jump up and restart here in position number 4. Hayden will come out of the pits in 2nd. He'll restart back in that 5th position. Stephen Luttrell, Skylar Berry, Colton Hardy, who lost a couple spots down pit side in the 97 ride, now scored there in 8th with Jesse Calloway and Joe Yakes rounding out the top 10 here for this restart, as Clinton Woodby, Trevor McManus, and David Trailer will consume the top spot here. They will be our race leaders, ready to rock and roll, ready to go to battle here for what is now going to be our 2nd restart of the day and our final stage of the day upon us here. Our final stage here this evening, as the lights turn off the official iRacing pace truck, it looks like we're going to go back to green flag racing, completing lap number 64. So that is 96 laps until our checkered flag. So 96 laps until we see the checkered flag fly here this evening. Tires, fuel, green flag pit stops, all on the horizon, all on the lookout for these drivers, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing. And as we do go to green flag racing, we will jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So what we want you guys to do right now as we go back to green flag battling is crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming, as the Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up is going to start here this evening, and it's going to be a fun one. Here from Gateway, big restart on the line, a lot of opportunities to move forward, lots of opportunities to fall back as we crank it up. Alrighty, caution flag is going to fly. Yellow flag, yellow flag. The Peacemaker Gaming crank it up. Caution. Curse will continue here this evening as the yellow comes out here. We did see Colton Hardy, a couple of these drivers, make some big moves down and out of corner number 4. There's maybe a little contact there between Modesty and the 59 ride of McManus. Things stack up in the outside lane, and there it is! Around goes our stage 1 winner. As things stack up on the outside here, let's take a look as, unfortunately here, Matt Hayden, he's just going to get the worst end of the stick here in this one as he's rolling down and out of corner number 4. Sees the contact here between McManus and that 6 ride of Modesty. Modesty ends up into the outside fence right here. Loses a lot of speed, a lot of momentum. The 5's trying to check up. The 36 is trying to check up. Unfortunately, for Steven, just could not check up in time. Also helps punt the 5 ride of Matt Hayden up into the outside fence, and as Hayden gets turned up into the wall, kind of comes back off the fence across the nose here of the Latrell Racing ride, shoots down the racetrack, clips the 87 machine, clips the 11 ride. Big hits there for Eric Hagdal, big hit for the 87 machine, and then you do see Jack Drucker's around. He gets absolutely T-boned right into the driver's side door by the 4 ride of Jesse Calloway, and everybody else is trying to somehow or another work their way through this, trying to navigate their way through this carnage. You do see the 69 ride, the Shitty Coolers machine. He's sideways. He gets up into the outside fence there a little bit as everybody's trying to squeeze their way around him. Then we see Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. into the outside fence. Drucker's into the inside wall there. Everyone else just trying to figure out where they need to go, what they need to do to keep themselves out of the chaos here on the front straightaway. Luckily enough, no one else looks to get collected, but some pretty solid contact and quite a few tore-up race trucks out there on the speedway. But it all starts with that contact from Modesty and that number 59 of Trevor McManus, as McManus was trying to get underneath of David Traylor here for position number 2. The 6 just gets a big run. I think McManus gets a little tight, has to back up out of the corner here as he does get loose there at a corner number 4. That's what puts the 6 right onto his back bumper, and from that point on, it's on like Donkey Kong. And for a lot of these drivers, just absolutely nowhere for them to go, and quite a few tore-up race trucks out there on the speedways. Our Peacemaker Gaming crank it up. Caution flag curse will continue here this evening. Man, that caution flag curse always coming up to bite us in the butt, man. Always bites us in the butt. But nonetheless, it definitely gives us another restart, another opportunity for these drivers to hit pit lane, to make some changes in their race trucks, whether or not it's fuel, if it's tires, or whatever else it may be that they desire. It could just be a couple turns of a wrench here, trying to, loosen these things up or tighten them up a little bit there on the speedway, try to give themselves a little extra edge here in the closing half of this feature event, as we're inching closer and closer to our halfway marker here this evening, as we'll get ready to jump back into our Peacemaker Gaming crank it up as we get ready to go back to green flag battling here at Gateway, as they're going to complete lap number 70 here. 90 laps of racing action left to go here in this feature event when we go back to battle here in this one, man. And for the 92 of Clinton Woodby, so far strategy's working out real nicely for himself and for his teammate David Traylor there to his outside, as they'll get ready for a big restart with Trevor McManus, Colton Hardy right there on their back bumper as they head down and out at corner number 4. The pace truck will make that hard left-hand turn, and we'll jump back into our Peacemaker Gaming crank it up. So again, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. Caution flag back out on the racetrack. Oh no, yellow flag, down the back straightaway. Uh-oh, it looks like the Racing Kings, number 63, Brody Bente, going to get collected here in this one. Unfortunately, him and Skylar Berry tied together down the back chute here at the Worldwide Technology Raceway here this afternoon. As let's take a look at it. So the 63 on the back bumper here of Skylar Berry in that beautiful 46, the QH Designs Dr. Pepper ride, as they head down through corner number 1 and 2, as that will bring a close to our Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. The Crank It Up caution flag curse will continue, so we're going to put that away, and we're going to see what these drivers have in store for us. It's nice and easy. Down and through corner number 1 and 2. Not sure if maybe the 46 just gets loose. Looks like he just kind of falls off the pace here. Now they're 3 wide, exiting corner number 2, and it looks like Skylar Berry just shoots up the racetrack towards the outside fence. I'm not sure if he realized that they were 3 wide and made a good move to pass that 30 or 63 not too long ago. And for the 46, right here through the middle of the corner, just loses a ton of speed, ton of momentum. 3 wide, then shoots up the racetrack. Across the nose there of Brody Bente. They both get tied together. Both make solid contact there into that outside fence. And unfortunately, some pretty solid damage for each driver. But that does bring the caution flag back out here in this one. So another quick caution flag after another restart. Obviously for Brody Bente, for Skylar Berry. They're down pit side trying to get their trucks repaired, trying to get back into the battle. Ronald Kingston also found his way down pit side, I believe, for the 7 ride of Harrison Crosby here. Harrison should be getting the lucky dog here. The free pass back on the lead lap for the Firehouse Subs Johnny Johnson Motorsports number 7 ride. Back into the battle here this evening. Back onto the lead lap here for Harrison Crosby. So that caution flag was a huge break there for the young lad, as he'll get back into the action, back into the battle here in this one. But out in front, David Traylor had worked his way around Clinton Woodby. Unfortunately, Woodby had fallen back into 4th by the time that yellow flag was displayed. Trevor McManus up and into 2nd. Stephen Luttrell there in position number 3 here on the speedway. Woodby, Hardy, our top 5 out there on the racetrack, with Justin Duran, last week's winner, rolling there in 6th. Can he jump up a few more spots and put himself right back up into victory lane and try to make it 2 in a row and 2 of 3 to start the season here for that 30 ride? Matt Hayden rolls there in 7th with Rooster Rodden, Joe Yakes, Rusty Musty rounding out our top 10, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to try to do this all over again, ready to go back to green flag racing. As after that stage break, the floodgates kind of opened here. We only saw the 1 yellow throughout that first 60 lap run, then obviously the caution flag for the stage break. But here, right after that stage had kind of come to a close, back-to-back yellow flags here. And that could really make things very, very interesting here later in this race, as the yellow flags tend to produce more yellow flags. It's cautions breeding cautions out there on the racetrack, and for each and every one of these drivers, it's going to be another opportunity, another chance here to try to work yourself forward, to try to put yourself into a good position out there on the racetrack, and hoping that you can try to find your way near the front of the field and in golden opportunity, golden position late in this race to try to win this feature event. But with all these yellows, man, it really brings into the question mark here for these drivers. How long can they stretch the fuel, and how many pit stops will they have to make here? I think at this point they may only have to make 1 more pit stop here on the day, as out in front of 54. It's a great launch, great restart there for the QH Designs number 54 ride of David Traylor, as Traylor leads us nice and easy down the back straightaway. Clinton Woodby, his teammate, will follow him on through up and into position number 2 here once again on the racing surface. Justin Duran going to try to get around that 59 of Trevor McManus as well. McManus just seems like he's a little bit tight down on the very bottom side of the racetrack, and unfortunately just not getting the great runs that he was hoping for here in that inside lane. As down across the line, they complete lap number 80 here this evening. So 80 laps in, 80 more laps left to go here this evening. So we're just at that halfway marker. Still lots of racing action left in front of us here. Still lots of opportunity to race your way either into the picture or out of the picture here this evening, especially with, you know, the potential looming green flag pit stops on the horizon. I think that's a point that everyone's going to try to get to, or hope that they don't want to see here this evening, is by the time we hit probably about lap number 120, we're going to see a lot of these drivers heading pit side here for what could be their final pit stop of the day. But by the way these guys are running, by the way they're battling out there on the speedway, there may still be a few more caution flags up their sleeve. There still may be a few more opportunities and chances to make some moves. Unfortunately, you do see the 7 of Harrison Crosby rolling back out onto the racetrack, as he did come down pit side after getting that lucky dog. Unfortunately, could not get back out on the racetrack in time, and unfortunately has fallen a lap down again out there on the speedway. But now good news is for the number 7 machine is he is still in that lucky dog spot. As long as he keeps that Philadelphia Flyers number 29 ride of Andrew Hainsley back there at bay, Harrison Crosby is still very much in that lucky dog position here, and also has you know, maybe a little bit better fuel mileage than a lot of these other drivers. Definitely could play a huge benefit for him later in this race. As out in front, though, continuing to lead the charge, a driver that was down pit side on lap number 51. His teammate and counterpart that was also down pit side back on lap number 51 is Clinton Woodby. So for right now, their tires holding up pretty nicely compared to the other drivers back there behind them. And for the QH Designs ride to the winning bid machine, and that the 92 of Clinton Woodby obviously could have a big run, a big day here at the Speedway if they can just keep themselves pointed the right direction, keep this track position, and put themselves in line late in this race to potentially find their way up into victory lane. As David Traylor, though, continues to hold down the top spot, it's Woodby right there in second, with Justin Duran, last week's winner, up and into third here. First time we've seen him inside our top 3 here this evening, and currently sits up 15 positions from where he started. Started back in 18th, now finds himself rolling here in third, hoping to continue to hold off that 59 ride of Trevor McManus, the 36 of Stephen Luttrell, and a lot of these other drivers that are going to be quickly working to his back bumper. You see Jack Drucker, he's back up into 6th. He wants to rejoin this battle out in front of the field. Rooster Roddins there in 7th with Colton Hardy, Matt Hayden, and Rusty Modesty, the top 10 out there on the speedways. For Hayden, he was our stage 1 winner, got collected in that quick caution flag after we went back to green flag racing around lap number 63 here this evening. And for that number 5 ride, obviously getting some damage going around, you know, kind of put him into a difficult position, had to come back down pit side back on lap number 68. Now, luckily enough, he's able to battle his way back up here into the top 10, hoping that maybe this gives him a bit of an edge, a little bit of an advantage here, you know, midway or late through this race here this evening. As out in front, David Traylor just continues to hold on to the top spot, man. This 54 ride looking really, really good here this evening. And we see David Traylor out in front, leading a ton of laps, looking really solid out there on the speedway. It is very, very tough to compete with that number 54 ride. And for some of these drivers, knowing that there could be no more caution flags, knowing that there could be potentially non-stop green flag racing until that checkered flag, allowing this number 54, David Traylor, to maybe check out a little bit here from the other competitors, could really give him a huge advantage, a huge break here late in this race. Having that extra track position could put himself into a really, really solid spot there on the speedways. You do see them still trying to battle back there for that second spot on the speedway. Clinton Woodby rolls in position number 2, but he's had McManus working to his back bumper. The 30 ride at Justin Duran was right up there trying to make that move to get around that 92 ride. As now here comes McManus. He's looking to try to complete this pass. He's got Jack Drucker right there with him. Drucker's trying to work his way back out in front, and he's going to take him 3 wide. Down the back straightaways, he'll jump to the inside of that 59 ride. And for Jack Drucker, He's a man on a mission here, trying to navigate his way back to the point out there on the speedway, seeing if he can try to navigate his way through this traffic, back up into the battle, and right in the thick of potentially trying to win this race here this evening for our first race winner of the season. Drucker's already got a win under his belt couple weeks ago at Daytona International Speedway, winning our season opener here in these NASCAR trucks. The number 56 was able to find victory lane, and he's going to be looking to try to do it again here tonight, but he's going to have to try to find his way around the 59 and then try to find his way to the 54. And David Trailer, as David out in front right now, has about 1.6 seconds between himself and Trevor McManus there on the speedway. So already they're starting to feel that, that beating and banging, that battling, the two wide racing out there on the speedway can definitely set you back and lose you a lot of time to our race leaders. But all that time is going to be evaporated as the caution flag comes back out. Yellow flag is out. You see Evan Schilling, the 63 of Brody Bente. Looks like Andrew Hainsley and the 76 of Shane Morris both have to get checked up there to avoid any major contact or calamities. There for themselves. As let's take a look at it here as looks like two drivers that had gotten tied together through the last caution flag. Going to get together again here. This time Barry's down on the inside of the Racing Cane's number 63, and then down the straightaway here. Looks like they're going to run out of room here. I'm not sure if this was just an aggressive side draft at a Skylar Berry or what the deal was here. Well, let's take a look at it. As down through 3 and 4, he's working to the inside there of Bente. Obviously trying to take a big run, trying to have himself a good solid drive. And unfortunately down the front stretch, they're just going to get tied together here. Let's take a look at it right there. 46 kind of comes up a little bit into that left rear quarter panel, that left rear tire of the 63 ride. Just knocks him out of his groove, knocks him out of his lane, and unfortunately turns him around out there on the speedway. Pretty solid hit there for both competitors, and unfortunately that does send shockwaves throughout the field. Is another caution flag, another opportunity to make your way down pit side and play some strategy out there on the speedways. You see the 63 into the inside fence right there, and then all of a sudden he's trying to get backed up, trying to get pointed back in the right direction, and there's a couple drivers coming at him, one of those being this number 77 ride of Evan Schilling. He's looking to get just up and around the 63, then all of a sudden sees him backing up. I think he kind of second-guessed himself there, and unfortunately ended up going around there just trying to figure out which lane to choose down into core number 1, as you did see the I believe that was, let me double check here. I believe that was, what driver was that? Oh, it was the 29 rider, Andrew Hainsley, that gives a kiss to the 77 ride. Now, luckily enough, no major damage for really any of these drivers besides Brody Bente in the 63, who got a piece of the outside fence, had some contact there with the inside wall as well, and unfortunately for the 63 machine, he'll have to try to rebound and try to gain back a lot of track position again out there on the speedway as he does hit pit lane. So does an Andrew Hainsley's. I believe Hainsley going to get a wave around here again himself, and for Andrew, he's going to get back onto the lead lap here this evening. Brendan McNutt does find himself going a lap down or two out there on the speedway. I believe now 2 laps down here for that number 48 ride, and that's a great news here for a bunch of these other drivers, knowing that as he runs into problems, it may give you a little bit of a buffer zone, a little bit of an easier drive, just to keep yourself from finishing dead last out there on the racetrack of these 26 drivers that are loaded into the sim here this evening. As we do see Keith Prince, Evan Schilling, Harrison Crosby, obviously Brody Bente and Brendan McNutt all down pit road here, trying to get their cars fixed up, trying to get them repaired, and trying to get back into the battle here this evening. But nice and easy down the back straightaway here. Obviously after now our 5th caution flag of the day, things could really just start to get wide open here. Things could really start to get absolutely crazy here in the second half of this feature event. As out in front, our race leader in the control car for this restart is that 54 and David Trailer. He's got Trevor McManus down to his inside as they head down through corner number 3 and out of corner number 4. The green flag will be displayed once again here for David Trailer, looking for another great launch, another great restart here, trying to keep everyone else back there at bay, trying to fend off the wolves out there on the speedway, and there it is. Big jump, big launch there for the 54 of David Trailer. Gives himself a couple car lengths down into corner number 1, where he's got no pressure to his back bumper as he exits corner number 2, and that's exactly what he wanted to see. Now he wants to see that 92 ride of Clinton Woodby put up a little bit of a fight here, trying to hold back that 59 of Trevor McManus and the number 56 of Jack Drucker. Drucker, though, he's right there. He's right in the mix, but the caution flag will come out again as cautions continuing to breed cautions here at Gateway. As the caution flag will come out again, I believe this time you're going to see the Cartoon Network at number 76 run into some problems. So unfortunately for Shane Morris, door-to-door down through corner number 1 and 2, kind of washes back up the racetrack into that left rear quarter panel of the 48 ride. And unfortunately there, both drivers end up going around pretty slick right there for that 76 machinist. He bounced it off the inside safer barrier there as well. But man, this is just some good hard racing out there on the speedway. These guys putting together a absolute amazing show, absolutely amazing race for us. And we'll have to see kind of who else is going to be right there in the mix, who else is going to be able to make some moves and trying to put themselves, into the picture frame, into the battle here this evening for the dub. Let's take another look at it. So for the 76, good restart, good launch right here, trying to work his way back up towards the front of the field, but here comes that 48. Jumps to his outside, carrying a lot of speed, a lot of momentum. They're tight down and out of corner number 2. I think that gets both of them a little bit loose, and for the 76 ends up into that left rear quarter panel there, and unfortunately loops that number 48 ride. Brandon McNutt around on the speedway and puts McNutt into a very difficult position already, a couple laps down out there on the racetrack, and now running into some more issues and potentially burning through some of those tires could definitely put him behind the 8 ball here this evening, as we'll get them all ready to roll, ready to go back to green flag racing. Now the drivers that were down pit side back on lap number 51 still sit out in front, first, second, and third out there on the racetrack. Will we see any of these other drivers kind of work their way into the picture, into the conversation here this evening about being in the right place at the right time late in this race to try to put yourself up and into the winner's circles? We'll get a quick word in here from our amazing sponsors over at Johnny Johnson Motorsports. Lights are off the official iRacing pace truck. We are getting ready to go back to green flag racing here on this fine Friday night as the NASCAR trucks in battle here at Worldwide Technology Raceway, other known as Gateway, here this evening. So far, it's been a very exciting, very interesting race, and now with some more caution flags kind of flying throughout the second stage, who will have enough? Who will be in line to potentially put themselves into victory lane here this evening? Is nice and easy. Down and out at corner number 4, it will be the 54 of David Trailer. Looking for another big launch, another big restart as they head down through the restart zone. Great jump right there again for the 54 ride. Perfect jump, perfect launch, able to open up a couple car lengths here between himself and Trevor McManus. McManus now trying to hold off Jack Drucker and Clinton Woodby, as Woodby trying to work right back down to his inside. But for all these drivers now, a lot of caution flags, a lot of issues here. If you're trying to keep yourself clean and in this race all night long, you need to put yourself into a golden position to not run into a big issue, to not run into a problem where potentially you take yourself out of this race. So minding your P's and Q's, dotting your I's, crossing your T's, making sure you click off each and every single checkbox to put yourself into a good position late in this race. It's do or die right now, as for each and every one of these drivers, they're reeling in these laps in a quick hurry. It's nice and easy down the back straightaway into corner number 3 for David Traylor. He'll exit corner 3, head down through the center here and into corner 4. And out of corner number 4, back down across the line. They will complete lap number 100 here this evening. So 100 laps have now been completed. We had 60 laps of racing action left to go. 60 laps left to duke it out here in this one, as David Traylor, Trevor McManus, Jack Drucker sit 1, 2, and 3 out there on the speedway. Justin Duran there in 4th with Modesty now working to his inside here. Modesty's trying to race his way back up towards the front. And for the 6th ride, oh man, he's trying to work his way around Duran for 4th. Just couldn't quite make that pass. And now all of a sudden, here comes Clinton Woodby right back into the picture here, as he'll try to drive down below both of them. Can't quite get there. But the heat is on back here, just midway through our top 10 out there on the speedway. You take a look at Colton Hardy, at Matt Hayden right there in the mix. Rooster Rodden in the green Power Ranger ride rolls there in position number 10 out on the speedway. Joe Yates is in 11th in that beautiful Expeditions number 87 ride, as he rolls there in the 11th spot. He has the pink Power Ranger right there behind him. So he's kind of surrounded by the Power Rangers right now. But for the 21 ride, as Zach Kelly rolls there in 12th. Jesse Wise in the Shitty Coolers number 69 ride rolls there in 13th, with Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr., Skylar Berry, Eric Hegdel are top 16 out there on the speedway. Ronald Kingston there in 17th, with Jesse Calloway back in 18th. Brian Cunningham and Keith Prince running at the top 20 there on the speedway. Evan Schilling is back in position number 21, with Andrew Hazley there in 22nd. And then we do see Brandon McNutt a few laps down back there in 23rd, as we did see Harrison Crosby, Shane Morris both lose a few laps out there, as well as Brody Bente, was stuck in his car. Down pit side here, the crew is doing a ton of work to this race car, and unfortunately he has already fallen virtually about, I want to see, this is going to be about 12 laps down now on the speedway. 12, 13 laps down. Very tough spot. Obviously, so many laps down this late in the race. More than likely and not realistically going to be able to get that many waiver rounds or lucky dogs or anything else to get himself back into the hunt here for the dub this afternoon. But looking great, looking strong. It's that 54 of David Traylor, who's been sitting out in front here for quite a long time. He does have McManus and Drucker both trying to track him down, both looking to try to reel in to that 54 ride. It's the battle of the 50s here out in front. The 54, the 59, and the 56 all battling here in this feature event, putting together a great run, great race, great show for us out there on the speedway, as they have now completed 105 laps of racing action. So only 58 more laps left to go here today. So 58 more laps for these drivers to beat and bang, to slice and dice, to try to put yourself into a good position here. Later on is going to be key here this evening. There may not be another caution flag. It may stay clean and green to the checker flag here this evening. And if you're David Traylor, you're already kind of behind the 8 ball with, quite a bit older tires than the drivers back behind you. So you got to be very cautious about when you may hit pit road, when you may use that final set of tires here this evening. And if you're McManus, you're in that same boat. He was also down pit side back on lap number 51, but a driver right there behind him was down pit side back on lap number 68. So virtually 17 laps after our race leaders, he was down pit road. He was making a yellow flag pit stop, and honestly, that's a huge difference maker. 17 laps, whether or not it's for tires or if it's for fuel or what it may be. It really puts Trailer and McManus and a few of these other drivers into a bit of a hole. They're going to be in a really, really tough spot, especially as this race continues on. We see more and more green flag laps being laid down. It's just going to get progressively harder to try to get yourself back into this race. So minimizing issues, minimizing problems for yourself out there on the speedway, and then obviously just trying to have a fast truck to try to get a good run and a good drive here this evening. Is Jack Drucker, our early race leader. He's worked his way back up in his second year as that HendrickCars.com ride. Looking strong again here this evening, man. And for Jack Drucker, he's going to be looking for that race lead. He wants to steal this top spot away from that 54 David Trailer, especially with, about 9 lap or better tires than these guys in front of him. So the tire wear really starting to come into effect for those race leaders. For Drucker, he's looking to take advantage of it, but at the same point in time, he's also, maybe got a little bit better tire, a little bit more fuel, a little bit more confidence out there on the racetrack, and for that 92 ride, now works his way back out in front. So Jack Drucker back to the point here at Gateway. Trevor McManus now looking for second as he looks to try to work his way around that number 54 David Trailer. He will complete that pass, and Trailer will fall back into position number 3 out there on the speedway. And now all of a sudden, as Trailer starts to slide backwards here, we're starting to see more and more drivers starting to navigate their way right up here into the battle at the front of the field. It's Justin Duran's right there in 4th. Rusty Modesty's there in 5th. Here comes Colton Hardy, Matt Hayden, Clinton Woodby, Stephen Littrell, our top 10, all looking and hoping to try to work their way up here to the point, hoping to work their way right into the thick of things and into the battle out there on the speedway. As George in the chat, how are you, George? George says, woohoo, in that chat, cheering on all the drivers here this evening. Is some great racing action, some great battling here at Worldwide Technology Raceways. We do see the caution flag come back out. So the caution flags flying aplenty here in the second half of this race. We saw only one yellow flag for incident throughout that first stage of the day. Throughout our first 60 laps of racing action, only one yellow flag. And now, really within the last 50, we have now seen quite a few more yellows here. That is our 7th caution flag. That is our 5th yellow in 50 laps of racing action since the end of that stage. And for these drivers, that's got to be a little bit nerve-wracking. That's got to be a little bit a little too crazy for you, but it does kind of put a lot of these drivers into a bit of a fuel window. I'm not sure if this is going to be a tire window, but it could definitely be an opportunity to come down pit road, get topped up. If it does finish clean and green with no caution flags out there on the racetrack for the remainder of this race, you should be good on fuel. You wouldn't have to worry about making potentially a late race pit stop during green flag conditions here. So I think there's going to be quite a few tankers down pit road here in this one, as we'll take a look back here in just a second to see what brought out that 7th yellow flag of the evening here in the Full Throttle Outlaws Racing League, as we will see pretty much every one of our front runners all head down pit side here. Drucker, McKenna, David Trailer, Justin Duran, Modesty, they're all hitting pit lane. So is Colton Hardy, Clinton Woodby, Matt Hayden, Stephen Littrell, Joe Yanks, the rest of our top 10, as it looks like the first driver not to come down pit road is this 46 of Skylar Berry. Berry's going to stay out. He's going to hope that this track position will kind of breathe new life into the Dr. Pepper number 46 ride, as he will be out front for this restart. He will have the 11 of Eric Hegdal either down to his inside or his outside here on this restart. We do see Keith Prince also not coming down pit road, and either is Evan Schilling. So there is quite a few drivers here that elected not to come down pit road, and obviously it's going to be a tight race, and it looks like it's going to be Rusty Modesty who wins that run off of pit lane. Callaway comes out in second. Truckers there in third. Trevor McManus, David Trailer right behind him, and Justin Durand rounding out our top 10 here on the racetrack. So, all right, the pay window is open now. Pay window is open. Your opportunity to shine out there on the racetrack and to try to put yourself up and into the winner's circle is, quickly approaching. You can't make any mistakes now at this point of the race. You got to make sure that you run virtually perfect here to put yourself into a good position to try to get a good finish here this evening. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys haven't already, help us out a ton here on the broadcast. Do us a quick favor right now during this caution flag. Hit the thumbs up button on the stream for us right now. Hitting the like button, dropping a comment or two helps really push the stream out to more and more amazing viewers. So every like, every comment, every share that you guys may throw out, if you're feeling courteous, and any of our new subscribers, really just helps grow the stream a ton, night after night after night here on Peacemaker Gaming. And last week, man, we had some absolutely insane numbers here for this series. I believe it was our most viewed live broadcast throughout YouTube here in our YouTube career. Now, we've had some really crazy ones over on Facebook and Twitch, and even a couple of the other ones, Kick and everything else, but that was a really cool one. It was a neat one to see so many fans in the stands tuning in, cheering these guys on, and watching some incredible racing here with the Full Throttle Outlaws. And hopefully we get some more of the same here tonight, and we need your help. Every like, every share, every comment helps grow the stream that much more here this evening as we get them all ready to rumble. New race leaders here as Barry and Hagdol run 1 and 2. They will control the restart down and out of corner number 4 and through that Geico restart zone. The 46 is Skylar Berry. They'll get a pretty solid launch there. Pretty decent launch. Opens up a truck length or two down into corner number 1 here on the speedway. Keith Prince now working to the inside of Eric Hagdol for position number 2 here on the racetrack. This is exactly what Skylar Berry wants to see. He wants to see them battling back here behind him and trying to see if he can sail off into the sunset here in this one. Unfortunately, did not work out too well there for him as the 11 ride of Hagdol jumps right into second and picking right where he left off here at the front of the field. Looking strong, looking good here. The battling back behind him, and he's hoping to try to jump up here and hoping to take the race lead away from that 46 ride of Skylar Berry here this evening. As you do see, Keith Prince is back there in position number 4 as he's trying to work his way around, as we do see one driver down the racetrack into the infield fence. Oh no! It's the Shitty Coolers, number 67. 69, right? Not the 67. The 69 of Jesse Wise. Oh no, let's take a look back at it. What happened here for Wise? What brought out another issue here on the speedway now? This is a tough break for him as there is no caution flag. Just gets loose, unfortunately, right there. We saw that already a few times this afternoon, and for this Wise ride, just sends it down through corner 1 and 2, and on the exit, just carrying a little bit more speed, a little bit more throttle, and unfortunately just loses the rear end. The Shitty Coolers ride washes down the racetrack. Car contact into the infield safer barrier, and being down on that apron, iRacing does not throw a caution flag. We keep it clean and green, and unfortunately, that will set Jesse Wise even farther back out there on the speedway. Jack Drucker, though, Drucker has the top spot, has the race lead. He was able to work his way around David Trailer. Trailer falls back into position number 2 out there on the speedway. But for the 54 ride, what does he got up his sleeve here? Does he got a little magic left here late in this race, whether it be, having better tires, better fuel mileage. What may be the difference maker? Maybe it could just be that simple mistake of having an issue down pit side could potentially cost, the 56 ride and his team a chance at the win here this afternoon, and vice versa for that 54 of Mr. David Trailer. His Trailer continues to roll there in second. We do see Trevor McManus there in third. So McManus still inside our top three, still running strong here this evening as Keith Prince will fall back to fourth. Justin Duran now up into fifth as he battles his way around that number 46 of Skylar Barry. But the caution flag will come back out. Yellow flag is displayed again here this evening, and it looks like it is the 33 of Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. going to run into some problems. Let's take a look at it. Down into three, and it just looks like the 32 and the 33 get timed together down the back straightaway. See if we can get another look at it here. As they were battling for a little while, 33 of Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. trying to work his way back up into this fight for, I believe at the time, roughly somewhere around lap number 19, lap 18, and now all of a sudden, here you go, 33 ride. Big run out of two, gets to the outside here of the 32. Then down the back straightaway, it looks like the 32 maybe coming up here a little bit, trying to side draft, maybe trying to slow down that Misfits number 33 ride, gets into that right rear quarter panel, or left rear quarter panel, ends up just hooking him around. You see both drivers trying to get checked up, both drivers seeing the flames thrown out of their exhaust pipe, and unfortunately here for Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr., it's really going to set him back out there on the speedway, and now obviously you got to wonder about any more damage or issues here, as you do see Harrison Crosby did get a little piece of them, but a big piece of them from the 48 ride. Brennan McNutt, what in the world here? McNutt came flying in here. Mock chicken. Playing chicken with the car parked sideways right there in the middle of the racetrack and absolutely cleans him out. Sees him turned around, just sends it in there deep. Can't get checked up, and unfortunately ends up driving right through him here. So for the Topps Chrome number 48 ride, trying to put himself into the battle, trying to work his way back into the action. Unfortunately, may have just taken himself out of this race. Big hit there for him. Big hit there for Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. And another caution flag for each and every one of these drivers. Another opportunity here to pull some strategy. Now, we did see a few drivers honestly down pit side back on lap number 113, but now lap 121 here. Inside 40 laps left to go of this feature event. What is the decision? What call do you make here? Do you head down pit side? Do you maybe put on your final set of tires? Or do you wait patiently here and just hope that the track position works into your favor? Maybe you wait another, hopefully caution flag or two, that you get a little closer to the, checkered flag, where you can really take advantage of the fresh tires over the old tires here, and maybe get yourself into a really golden opportunity here, early on in the season, as each and every one of these drivers hoping to try to get a win here early on, trying to get them done and out of the way, and just trying to make sure that they are ready to rock and roll, ready to battle here with their teammates throughout the rest of the season. Obviously trying to work them into potentially into the playoffs as well. But you get a win, you get locked in, you get a solid run, and the team gets a solid run. Not only do you get good team points, but you also get good individual points that could help yourself out and help your team out here this evening. So we'll see how it kind of all plays out. Who's going to find their teammates? Who's going to put themselves into a good position late in this race? Is 122 laps completed. 123 this time by the start-finish line. So 123 laps now completed here at Gateway. And for Jack Drucker, our pole sitter, our early race leader, our current race leader, will see the green flag fly once again. And for the HendrickCars.com number 56, another great launch, another great start out there on the speedway, and he's able to use it. They keep that 54 of David Trailer back there at bay. Now for Trailer, he is right there. He is very much in line and in position to maybe try to make some moves to try to maybe steal this top spot back away from him. But as we've kind of went on through this race, we've seen more and more drivers start to make some different strategy calls, start to put themselves into some really different positions here down pit side, as we did see Keith Prince, who's now up in position number 4. He was last down pit side, back on lap number 96. You look a little farther back behind him, Skylar Berry was last down pit side, back on lap number 77. So for a bunch of these drivers, time is running out to make some moves. Eric Hagdahl was last down pit road on lap number 96. Jesse Wise was just down pit side there on lap 121. But for a lot of these drivers and a lot of these cats out there on the racetrack, obviously the laps are getting clicked down in a quick hurry. If you're 1 or 2 laps down, you still have a shot. You just got to work yourself up and into that free pass position. Unfortunately for Brendan McNutt, he's gotten a little farther back here. Unfortunately, does find himself at least still a lap down, but he's got to make the move around that Philadelphia Flyers. Number 29 ride right there is, I believe, for Andrew Ainsley. He's still on the lead lap. He's still very much in this battle. And now for Brendan McNutt, he's in that free pass position. He's the first driver 1 lap down. He's going to hope to try to keep Harrison Crosby back there behind him, but at the same point in time, he wants to see maybe a mistake out of this 46 of Skylar Berry, as Berry hits pit lane here, making what could be his final stop of the day. It looks like he is going to put tires onto that 46 machine and get ready to roll back out there on the speedway. It could be a huge speed variation here between the 46 ride and the rest of those drivers out there on the speedway, now with much better tires than a lot of these drivers that will be in front of him here on the scoring chart. But out in front, Jack Drucker, man, just sitting pretty, but he's got to be feeling some of those nerves. He's got to be feeling that, hey, things could get crazy in a quick hurry. Things could go astray out there on the speedway, especially with David Traylor right there. You do see that 59 ride of Trevor McManus. Last week's winner, the 59 ride, the 30 ride of Justin Durant rolls back there in position number 4. Clinton Woodby now running out our top 5. So obviously for a lot of these drivers, it's a lot of time, still a lot of opportunities to work yourself forward. But for some of these guys, a little deeper in the field, maybe a little bit less fortunate with the entire game plan or field strategy, maybe start to see their strategy kind of go up in flames. They may have to try to switch gears and try to figure something else out to put themselves into a better finishing position here late in this race. But for right now, whatever they're doing with this 56 ride of Jack Drucker, it's working out perfectly for him here this evening, as makes it easy down and out at corner number 2. This has been a bit of a problem area there at a 2. We've seen a few drivers get really loose, make hard, solid contact with the infield safer barrier, and kind of have their nights go out the window a little bit there. But for all these drivers, still very much in this hunt at the front. Is nice and easy. Down and out at corner number 4 for Jack Drucker. Drucker will complete lap 130 here this evening. So 130 laps completed. 30 more laps left to go here in this one. 30 more laps left to duke it out here from the beautiful Worldwide Technology Raceways. We'll jump back into a very quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So again, crank up that volume, cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. Alrighty, a beautiful crank it up session as the laps are clicking down here in a quick hurry, and for each and every one of these drivers, the opportunities to try to put yourself into a winning position are starting to run thin as they only get 17 laps left to go here in this feature event. Be 16 this time by the start-finish line as Jack Drucker continues to lead the charge. Drucker will complete lap 144, 16 laps left to go here in this race, and he sits out in front by about 2.2 seconds. Drucker running away with this one, just wants to see it stay clean and green, does not want to see another late race caution flag that could potentially bring all these drivers right back to his rear bumper and into the picture here to try to steal this win away from him here today. As Drucker out in front has that big gap between himself and David Trailer. His Trailer hangs on to position number 2, gave it up for a little bit there during that crank it up to Trevor McManus. McManus does fall back into that third spot on the speedway, but we'll see if that Skidoo number 59 ride can work his way back around this 54 ride for that second spot on the speedway. Now, we did see Zach Kelly, the pink Power Ranger ride, run into some issues there a few laps ago. Let's take a look back, see what happens here, as unfortunately for Kelly, Power Ranger ride just very loose out at corner number 2, up into the outside fence, just going to pull it right down the racetrack. Luckily enough, does not come across the nose there of that number 46 of Skylar Berry, but hard contact into that outside fence, and unfortunately goes it down pit side. Looks like he may be done for the day, or at least he's going to fall back multiple laps out there on the racetrack, because I believe he has gotten back out there. There he is. So for Zach Kelly, still rolling, still very much in this fight. I believe does fall back at least 2 laps out there on the racetrack, and still in a very difficult position here late in this race. As out in front, though, leading the charge, Jack Drucker continues to hold on to the top spot. We do see Trevor McManus has worked his way back around David Trailer for position number 2. So Trailer falls back again into third, and quickly you do see Justin Duran right back into the battle. Duran there in 4th, looking to try to put himself right back up onto the podium after winning last week's feature event, the 30 ride. Maybe looking for another podium run here this evening. Clinton Woodby rolls right there in position number 5. He's looking to try to make a late race challenge here, trying to work his way up onto the podium. As Rooster running, the green Power Ranger, he's up and into the 6th spot here on the speedway. Steven Luttrell rolls there in 7th, with Matt Hayden there in 8th. Colton Hardy and Ronald Kingston in that beautiful Fallout number 8 ride, rounding out our top 10 here on the speedway, looking very strong here in this one. As Rusty Modesty back in 11th, Keith Prince is there in 12th, Joey Yakes back in position number 13 here on the speedway. Jesse Calloway's there in 14th. Eric Hagdahl, bit of a quiet night there for the Red Bull number 11 ride, but Hagdahl rolls in 15th, kind of mid-back out there on the speedway. Jesse Wise right there behind him. Brian Cunningham rolls there in 17th, with Evan Schilling, Andrew Hainsley, Skylar Berry there rounding out our top 20. I do believe for Berry, he's currently the first driver 1 lap down out there on the racetrack. So I think for Skylar Berry, he would love to see another caution flag, and obviously, you know, maybe bring his teammates back into the battle for the race. Lebo could put him right back on the lead lap and very much back into the action here this evening to try to make some late race gains. Unfortunately, though, he's running out of time in a quick hurry, as Brennan McNutt scored back in position number 21. Zach Kelly scored there in 22nd. Harrison Crosby back in 23rd, with Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr., Shane Morris, and Brody Bente rounding out our top 26 here this evening. As Jack Drucker out in front. Only 10 laps left to go here in this race. There'll be 9 laps left to go, this time by the start-finish line. So 151 laps completed. For our race leader, Jack Drucker, starting to run through some lap traffic here. Looks like he's now putting the Philadelphia Flyers number 29 of Andrew Hainsley a lap down out there on the racetrack. So Hainsley does fall now into the lucky dog position. For the 48 rider, Brendan McNutt, he does lose another lap out there on the racetrack here as he stays in that 21st position. And for the 56 ride, out in front, continues to stretch out that race lead, is down the front straightaway here. Now out to about 3.5 seconds between himself and Trevor McManus. With only 8 laps left to go, man, a 3.5 second lead. It's got to be a caution flag that it's going to be any kind of a way or any kind of a reason that Drucker may lose this race. I mean, late race mistake, put himself into a bad position. Maybe something could happen here to the 56 ride, but I think it's got to be a caution flag here in this one to bring McManus, Trailer, Duran, Woodby, and the rest of the field right back into the picture and into the hunt for the race win here this evening. I think the guys back behind them, they know that 3.5 second gap here, now only 7 laps left to go, and they have quite a bit of lap traffic between them and our race leader that they got to deal with as McManus is just trying to work his way around the 7 rider, Harrison Crosby, right there. Harrison does unfortunately lose another lap himself, but does see that 59 right is able to get around him there. No issues, no contact. And for Trevor McManus, unfortunately, still that really affected his ride, his drive, and that will keep him kind of falling back here pretty hard out there on the speedway as David Trailer rolls there in position number 3. Justin Duran and Clinton Woodby door to door for position number 4 here on the racetrack is the 30. Oh, very sideways as he gets to the back bumper there of the 7 Harrison Crosby. My gosh, that was almost our caution flag right there as he was power sliding down through corner 1 and 2. Luckily enough, able to keep it pointing in the right direction. Unfortunately, does lose position number 4 there to Clinton Woodby as Woodby was able to get around him. Rooster Rodden back there in 6th with Steven Luttrell in 7th. He's got the 5 ride. Look out, Hayden. Oh, baby, Hayden really sideways there at a corner number 4. Great save there for the 5 ride, able to keep himself very much in the battle here this evening as he was very sideways right there. Luckily enough, kept it pointing in the right direction. And in the last few laps around, man, some heavy traffic there and some really close calls for Jack Drucker and the rest of the field to see a caution flag for Drucker. He's just running away with it. 4.2 seconds. Now between himself and Trevor McManus. McManus has worked his way through that lap traffic. Now has some clean green sailing here between himself and our race leader, but with only 4 laps left to go, he's got to make up over 4 seconds to reel in his back bumper here late in this race. David Trailer is now trying to hang on to position number 3 as Mr. Clinton Woodby's looking to try to take it away from him, and now look out, the 48 ride up into the outside fence. Oh, there's more contact. Look out. Big hits here. Brendan McNutt hard up into the outside fence, exiting corner number 2. The 29 right of Andrew Hainsley makes big contact, driving into the back end of that 48 ride. Another really close call for another caution flag, but they're able to somehow or another keep it clean and green out there on the speedway. As Drucker, man, he's got to be sweating buckets right now. Sweating buckets, just wanting to see this white flag fly. He's got a massive lead, does not want to see this yellow flag get displayed. Is almost 5 seconds now between himself and Trevor McManus as they exit corner number 4. Back down across the line. For Jack Drucker, he will complete another lap. Only 2 laps left to go here this evening. 2 more laps left to duke it out here from the beautiful Worldwide Technology Raceway Gateway here this afternoon. Has been an absolute treat. Been a very, very good race. A lot of action all around the speedway. And out in front late in this race, our pole sitter, that number 56 riders. We did see Steven Luttrell run into issues. The 0-1 Rooster Rodenstein up in it. They're both down on the apron. No caution flag. That's great news for the 56 as Drucker will see the white flag fly. So no late race yellow. Heartbreaker there for Steven Luttrell, and Rooster Rodden will have to take a look back and see what happened there. But for Jack Drucker, no caution. And for the final time here this evening, you'll be able to lead us down and through corner number 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway for the final time here this evening. Nice and easy here in that Johnny Johnson Motorsports 300 here at Gateway. Drucker will exit corner number 4. He will see the checkered flag fly, and Jack Drucker will pick up his second checkered flag early on in the season. Drucker gets it done again, picks up the dub. It will pull himself up and into the Johnny Johnson Motorsports of victory lane here this evening, man. What a run, what a drive, what a performance by Drucker, man. That was a hell of a show. Obviously led a lot of laps early on, made some different mistakes here as we saw him get tied together early on in this race, I believe with David Trailer, to bring out our first caution flag of the day. Got assessed in EOL, had to go to the rear of the field, had worked his way back up through that traffic though, and slowly but surely as he got up here, got that race lead, got that clean air, and from that point on never looked back and is able to put himself up into victory lane, man. What a run, what a drive there for him as Drucker picks up the dub. Trevor McManus will come home in second, and Clinton Woodby will round out our podium. We'll get ready to pull all of our top 3 up and into the booth here for some post-race interviews in just a little bit. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys enjoyed that racing action and you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor. Smash that thumbs up button on the stream right now. Hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today as Jack Drucker gets to celebrate here on the front straightaway. A Worldwide Technology Raceway, man. What a run, what a drive, what a performance here for Jack Drucker. Woo! Baby, what a run, what a race for the HendrickCars.com number 56 ride. Looking and feeling a whole lot like Kyle Larson out there on the speedway as he'll drive it down into victory lane. We'll get ready to pull him and the rest of our top 3 up and into the booth here in just a couple seconds. But let's take a look back here at the issues for the 36 rider, Stephen Luttrell. Luttrell and the number 01 get time together here. Now, this may start with the 01 ride. Take a look here at Rooster Rodden. So Rodden down low. It looks like he's trying to make the move around the 30 ride as he gets to the inside here. Gets a good run at a corner number 4. Gets to the inside here of that 30 machine of Justin Durand. Sends it into corner number 1, just shoots it in there really, really deep. Washes up the racetrack, has to get checked up. Now they're 3 wide, exiting corner number 2. And unfortunately, Luttrell just trying to pick up maybe that extra spot or 2 late in this race. Gets the good run through the center of the corner, and unfortunately just on corner exit. And exits the corner here with a lot of speed, pushes up the racetrack, and as he pushes up the speedway, pushes into that left rear quarter panel of the 01. They get tied together a couple times, and unfortunately it pushes both drivers down the racetrack and hard into that infield safer barrier. Big hit there for both Rooster Rodden and that 36 machine of Stephen Luttrell, as they were both looking like they were going to hang on here for, good solid top 10, top 5 runs here this evening. Unfortunately, they finished back in 12th and back in 18th here on the speedway, man. That is a heartbreaker for both drivers to finish that far back, that far deep in the field, to where, their good days all of a sudden got evaporated there in the closing laps of this feature event. And for Drucker, man, another close call. That was another potential late race caution flag that could have been thrown, that could have, unfortunately, brought all these drivers right back to his rear bumpers. We'll get ready to pull him and the rest of our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth here for their post-race interview. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winner, Jack Drucker. Hey, Jack, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yes, sir, I do. How are you, Aaron?
Not too bad, Jack. Man, what a run, what a race for you here tonight at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Man, take us back through this one. Obviously, a blazing fast HendrickCars.com number 56 machine here this afternoon. You qualify on that pole position early on. You lead the charge for a long time here out on the racetrack, and then you kind of get tangled up. You run into some issues there between yourself and the 54 right at David Trailer. Unfortunately, you guys get sideways down through 3 and 4. You get an EOL. You got to go to the rear of the field there. You pay your dues, obviously, for having that issue, for causing that caution flag, and then you got to just try to battle back. It took you a while, but slowly but surely, you get back up inside the top 10 just as the stage comes to a close, and then you battle your way up through the field, back to the front of the pack. You're late in this race, just setting sail as everyone else battling back there behind you. You're just pulling farther and farther away and hoping not to see any more caution flags. Do not want to have another issue and another opportunity for these guys to get a good run, to get a good drive, and potentially steal this win away from you late in this race. And there was a lot of dodge bullets here for late race yellows here in this one, man. Take us back through what's going to go through your mind, and were you nervous there for those late race yellows to kind of start flying?
To answer the questions in reverse, yes, I was absolutely nervous of late race cautions, and especially when it was like 10, 15 to go, because you're kind of worried the guys that did stay out and save a set, like that's enough time to get for them to get through there. So definitely, yeah, no, I was I was trying to hustle it there, trying to make sure I got back to the white to make sure it's like, okay, we're good, we can breathe. But yeah, no, hectic race. I can't say I've ever been up and down and up and down that many times in a race and still been alive to tell the tale at the end and then actually end up in victory lane. So definitely grateful for that. Grateful for Trevor and David, because those guys really good hard racing up there at the front. I definitely owe David an apology, because that first run when we were all trying to save fuel there, like it was really odd because I felt like I had the pace to pull away, but if I kept shifting, I was going to run out of fuel, right? So I tried to let Trevor go, try to let David go, and then I felt like, okay, I can start trying to run this back down because if I'm gonna win the stage, I'm gonna have to get there and start making time. And then, yeah, no, me, I left it into fourth into turn 3, and then didn't have any turn and got into him. So that was 100% my fault. Definitely wanted to claim that because that's not how you want to go race, and definitely wasn't intentional. It's just a bonehead error on my part. But that said, yeah, like like you recapped, hell of a drive to get back into the stage points, because I was going like a bat out of hell there, just trying to make up for the mistake. So 1 point's better than none. We'll take that. Got caught up in another wreck there, trying to dodge on the front. Had a little ARCA braking scuffle, which it happens, right? There's a lot of trucks, a lot of stuff going on in these restarts. So yeah, just a long day of fighting back and fighting through adversity. Some of it self-inflicted, some of it not. But at the end of the day, ultimately had a chance there, right? That last run, had a chance to get up there with Trevor and David and raced him, got by him, and set sail. So happy to have that fast of a truck underneath me. Happy to have good pace. And I don't know, man. It's like Kansas irked me last week because I made a dumbass pit call trying to stay out and save a set of tires and get cute, thinking we were going to get caution, and we didn't. So, yeah, no, definitely good to come back here at Gateway and come away with a good finish and a race win.
Yeah, absolutely. Come in here, put yourself right back up into victory lane. As now, obviously, you come into this race as our points leader already early on in the season, but you also already have yourself couple wins here, man. So now you're getting a couple wins. You're feeling really good. You're kind of on a roll to start off the season on a very, very high note. Do you think you can keep up this pace? Do you keep on, putting together great races like this that give yourself, that extra, chance, that extra opportunity to try to, maybe win this championship here in season 2 of the Full Throttle Outlaws Racing League?
Like I said, I feel like Kansas coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? You never know how the race is going to end, but I think I had a top 5 truck there, so still rebounded to a good finish, but that was a few points lost. I will say it does feel really good to get one on a talent track, right? Because Daytona, it's kind of anybody can win. We had the teammate thing going, so we all came away together, but you don't really know what you got relative to the field, right? So being a new guy here, it's definitely good to not only know, like, learn the field and have everybody races, but also know kind of where you are in the pecking order. So yeah, for sure. I mean, tonight we had a race winning truck. I think Kansas, we had a top 5 truck. I know some of these tracks are going to, like, when we go to the road courses, it's just going to be get a top 10 and go home, right? And there's going to be a few bumps in the road because that's racing, right? You can't go into every week and think, oh yeah, we're going to finish top 5 every week. Like, that's the plan, but you never know how it's going to go. So, but I'm a big believer in, as long as you bring pace and execute and stay at the front, the points will take care of themselves. So we'll keep rolling. It's a long season. We're on race 3, so I wouldn't get too hyped up in the points yet, but just keep running up front. We'll be okay.
Absolutely. Running up front, earning those bonus points, putting yourself into position to try to win more and more races here throughout the regular season prior to when the chase starts. But man, great run, great drive for yourself here tonight again. Now winning 2 of the first 3 races here on the season. Jack, who would you like to thank for another great performance out there on the racetrack and another big dub here in the Johnny Johnson Motorsports 300?
Well, we love HendrickCars.com. We love our Hendrick Motorsports partners. Big shout out to the digital Hendrick Motorsports engine shop, because that was a lot of shifting and a lot of RPM spikes tonight. So that thing held together. That was good. I know our teammate Brandon Combs couldn't make it tonight, so shout out to him. Bam Balam, and we'll all 3 be out here next week.
Beauty. Well, we look forward to seeing you guys back out there, see what you guys can do, and see if you can try to park this 56 ride right back up here in Victory Lane. Jack, congrats on the dub, and we'll see you back out there next Friday night, and maybe right back up here in the booth.
Appreciate you, Aaron. Thank you for calling a great race, and thank you everybody for watching.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you so much.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Jack Drucker, as Drucker picks up the dub here in this one, man. Great run, great drive, great performance there for that 56 machine. As we'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher, the 59, Trevor McManus. Let's get McManus up here into the booth. Hey, Trevor, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yeah, man. What's up?
Not much, Trevor.
Nice.
Solid run. Great drive for you here this evening. Obviously, pretty fast race truck. Qualified really good. Battled up here inside the top 3 pretty much all evening long. And there at the end, obviously some great battling between you and David Traylor. You're finally able to get back around him in those closing laps, but unfortunately just looked like Jack Drucker was setting sail, running through that lap traffic like it was just, butter on bread, and making quick work of those guys, and unfortunately able to open up a massive lead where you guys just kind of had nothing for him and not enough time to even try to chase him down out there on the speedway.
Yeah, no, he was fast. Congratulations to him. He ran a good race. He's kind of been like the guy that you want to go out there and beat this season, right? Kansas, he was fast. Daytona is kind of like a crapshoot. Anybody can be fast there, but last week at Kansas, he was good, bad strategy, and then even this week he qualified pole. So you start chasing him down, trying to figure out what he's doing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Chasing him down, trying to figure out what his tendencies are, maybe even trying to learn and steal some of maybe his, tricks out there on the racetrack, just trying to follow in his tire tracks there and figure out, what he's doing a little bit differently than you are, where, maybe he's making that extra tenth of a second out there on the speedway that could potentially propel you right up into his wheelhouse and put yourself into the same category as that 56 ride. Is that kind of the game plan for maybe a lot of these races, as so far he's shown a lot of speed, a lot of pace, seems to be one of those drivers that you're just trying to everyone's trying to beat out there? Is that going to be the key to beating that 56 ride, trying to steal some of his tendencies, some of his game plan to try to steal the wins away from him?
I mean, when he was side by side, I heard him shifting down into 3, going through 3 and 4, and I had tried that in practice and just knew it was going to eat up the right rears. So I was hoping he would do the same, but he was just really good at it. And then once you get a lead out there, you just have all that clean air, right? Like, these trucks have such a big greenhouse, so anybody can be beat, right? I just got to go out there and practice. Gateway's probably my worst track on this whole schedule, so to come home second and probably only have like one other race, and this is the first one on the repave, so yeah, I feel good. This is a great league. I'm new here, and I can't thank all the racers enough for all the hard, clean racing that we have. I mean, it's hard, but it's clean. So
Yeah, definitely very, very good racing. A lot of great competitors out there, and it's going to be a very, very fun season here with the Full Throttle Outlaws. And it's going to be exciting to see, what all of you guys have in store. How you guys are going to be able to battle and beat and bang, especially throughout a lot of these short track races and some of the other special events that we have on the schedule, and see if you guys can, park this 59 right up here in the broadcast booth more and more throughout the season, and hopefully, I'm sure one of these nights up here into victory lane. But man, a solid run here at Worldwide Technology Raceways. You park the 59 up here in position number 2. Trevor, who else would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance here this evening?
Oh, first off, I want to thank you, dude. I went back and watched the broadcast like 3 times. You do such a great job doing it all by yourself. Up there. I gotta thank the admins of the league. They're really, they got a good group here, and it's awesome. Me and David Trailer, we were trying to do whatever we could to work together to get Jack back down. But we you know yeah, the admins, my smoking hot wife, she's the one who lets me come up here and do this late at night on a Friday night. My beautiful daughter, she supports me all the time, asks me how all my racing's going. My son, he's 2 years old and he's a riot. He'll be up here kicking my butt in no time. My family, my mom watches, probably my dad sitting next to her, my grandma, I know she used to watch. I don't know if she's watching these ones yet or not, but they've been super supportive. All my friends and family who call me up and say, "Hey man, what happened last week? You were leading." Yeah, I didn't fuel up. I'm firing my crew chief, right? And after tonight, hitting on that first caution, he's done. I gotta find another one. Yeah, just all the people that support me, all the people that make this happen. It's just a lot of fun to be able to come up here and do this. The people who protect us, right? You got all the soldiers fighting for our freedoms, and all the first responders making sure that we're safe all the time. You can't thank them enough. Without them, who knows what would be going on in this world right now. It's crazy. So yeah, pretty much that's it. I run up front, so if anybody's out there trying to sponsor me, I take sponsorships.
Absolutely, brother. Always throw that out there. Always open for different sponsorships, and more names go on to that beautiful 59 ride, especially after another great run, another great drive like you had here tonight. Trevor, congrats on the second place performance, and we can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack and maybe right back up here into the broadcast booth again next Friday night.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Have a good night.
Yes, you as well. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Trevor McManus. As John McManus in the chat says, yes, we are watching. They are watching. They are cheering you on, Trevor. Cheering you on here all night long after a really, really good run, really solid performance out there on the speedway for that 59 ride. As we'll get ready now to pull in our third place finisher here, the number 92 of Clinton Woodby. Let's get Woodby up here into the booth. Hey, Clinton, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Clinton, man, another great run. Another solid performance for the 92 machine here this evening. Obviously, maybe not quite the qualifying run you wanted to have, but kind of worked out on your strategy throughout that first stage. Seemed like you were really trying to save some fuel, save some tire there early on, so you kind of fell a little farther back. But then you started to work your way back up towards the front there. Obviously, with that caution flag, allowed you to jump up here, earn some fairly decent almost stage points as we saw you come down pit road there, midway through that first stage. Obviously, there wasn't a lot of other drivers that came down pit side with you, but it kind of flipped that stage, put you out in front, gave you a lot of track position thereafter. The stage came to a close, and that really puts you into a good position here to just continue to keep on battling up inside our top 5 here this evening. And you guys put on a hell of a show for us late in this race between yourself and David Trailer, Justin Duran, Hayden, that 0-1, Rooster Rodden, man. It was a dogfight there for the closing, 30, 40 laps of this feature event, brother. Take us kind of back through what's kind of going through your mind after 160 laps here at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Yeah, that was a pretty wild race. Yeah, I don't remember what happened in qualifying. I think I just ruined my first lap by screwing it up coming to the green, so I just never really got a good lap in on qualifying. I wasn't really, I don't know, I wasn't expecting to have even a top 5 finishing spot there at the beginning. I fell back further than I wanted to. I thought we were going to have to double stint the first set of tires, or at least one set of tires. And then once I started running, making some laps on the run, about lap 12, I realized I can make it at least to the stage. And from there, we can make it with the set of tires we have left. So you just had to run everything out. So that's about the time I started trying to pass people. So about that time, I don't know, probably half a track back from the leaders. I don't even know where they were, but ended up, like you said, got up to 11th there with, I think it was Jack I was battling with there. That was a pretty good battle with him. And, yeah, once the caution come out with less than 10 laps left, I just decided to pit to just kind of flip the stage and at least try to get a lap led. I think I stayed out for a few laps and then just kind of let David go, thinking he would burn his stuff off a little bit, and then I just kept getting passed by 3 or 4 more guys, so I just didn't really have the overall speed that I needed tonight to get the win, but top 3 is not bad.
Yeah, top 3 is never anything to hang your head about after a good hard battle here. Obviously good fighting there throughout that top 5 throughout majority of this afternoon, and you were right there in that hunt at the front. And even though you may not have had the pure speed or anything else, obviously you had a good strategy, good car, and then late in this race being able to kind of take advantage of a couple of those drivers that were kind of starting to feel that tire wear come into effect there. His trailer was sliding backwards, Duran was sliding backwards, and you were right there able to take advantage of it and park yourself up here onto the podium. Clinton, who would you like to thank for obviously another great run, great performance, and another great drive here early on in the season?
Yeah, shout out to my girlfriend Megan and Blair Peterson, the Win a Bid Diecast, and all my teammates tonight. I would apologize to David, but I owed him one for that there at the end on the last lap. So not sorry, David. And appreciate you guys for the broadcast and everybody for the league and everybody that watches.
Absolutely, brother. Well, it was another great race, another good night here for the Full Throttle Outlaws and for that 92 Clinton. Great run, great performance, man. We can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack, obviously, again on Monday night, but also right back up here again next Friday as well.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Yep, you too.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our 3rd place finisher. Clinton Woodby, as Woodby comes home in position number 3, man. Solid run, solid drive there for the 92 ride. Unfortunately, though, that's going to do it for us here this evening. The racing action is concluded, and these drivers put on a great show for us, man. Great show, great race. Hell of a show for all the fans in the stands to enjoy here this evening. And if you guys did enjoy the racing action and you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor right now. It's not too late. Even if you're rewatching the broadcast, hit the thumbs up button for us right now. Hit the like button on the stream. Hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family. Turn those bell notifications on. That way you never miss it when we go green flag racing here on Peacemaker Gaming, as we'll be right back up here in the broadcast booth again tomorrow night for some more amazing racing action here on Peacemaker Gaming. And hopefully we'll see each and every one of you right back up in the grandstands, cheering on our drivers, enjoying some more amazing racing, and enjoying some more, great action here on these broadcasts. And we can't thank you guys enough again for tuning in and showing the love. Unfortunately, that's going to do it for us here in this one, man, in the Johnny Johnson 300 live from the beautiful Worldwide Technology Raceway here in the Full Throttle Outlaws Racing League Season 2, as Jack Drunker picks up the dub. Great run, great race, great drive from each and every single one of these competitors, and we can't wait to see them back in action, and we can't wait to see you guys back in the grandstands cheering on our amazing drivers tomorrow night here on Peacemaker Gaming. So we'll see you guys then, and hopefully we'll see you guys cheering these guys on once again here each and every single night of the week. But thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. And we'll see y'all in the next one, man. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.
Engines scream, asphalt burns, the grips a gamble. Tires squeal, hearts race, this leads to scandal. Full throttle, no brakes, chasing that checkered. Drafted lines tighter than a bank teller's ledger. Turn four is a monster, jaws wide like a gator. Pit stop, quick cruise, move sharp as a razor. Adrenaline pumps, veins fuel injected. Outlaws on the track, chaos perfected. Full throttle kings, we don't slow down. Ripping through the night, owning this town. Gas to the floor, the crowd gets loud. Outlaws racing, we're born unbound. Smoke trails, girl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint job flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump traps, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump traps, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Slow trails curl, exhaust whisper secrets. Victory's a beast, only the brave can keep it. Paint jobs flash, sponsors on the side. Egos collide, stealing pride. Oval dreams where legends ignite. Green flag drops, sparks kiss the night. This ain't a hobby, this a gladiator's grind. Racing's the religion, speed's the shrine. Bump trap, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Bump trap, slingshot, rival in my sights. One wrong move, you're kissing the lights. All in my sights, one wrong move, you're kissing the lights. Slow trails curl, exhaust whisper